Adding openings to walls in Blender can be a little bit frustrating if you try to do it manually, because you have to add a whole bunch of extra geometry and make changes to your mesh. Luckily, there's an easier way to do this with Booleans. So, first step, you would add a cube and set it to the size of your door and make sure that it overlaps the wall on the outside and the inside. Next, you would add a Boolean modifier to your wall and set it so that it's referencing the cube that you just created. Third, you would want to take that cube and set its viewport visibility so that it's a wireframe instead of texture. Now, you have an opening in your wall and you can add your door. After you've added your door, you want to parent the empty to the door so that it moves with the door. I will link to a full tutorial on this method in the comments below this video. Adding openings to walls in Blender can be a little bit frustrating if you try to do it manually, because you have to add a whole bunch of extra geometry and make changes to your mesh. Luckily, there's an easier way to do this with Booleans. So, first step, you would add a cube. What's up, guys? Justin here with BCGEssentials.com, back with another Blender architectural modeling tutorial for you. So this one's going to be really important because it's going to give you some basics on how to create openings inside of walls, so that you can basically create door openings, window openings, things like that. So we're going to talk through a couple different ways to do this, some of which use add-ons and some of which don't. But let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, so one of the things that can get a little bit tricky inside of Blender is when you're doing architectural models, a lot of the time you want to cut an opening for an object, so that you basically have a hole like a door or a window or something like that. And so let's start with a simple example. So I'm going to import a door frame that I downloaded from BlendSwap from Manim 8. I will link to this frame in the notes down below. Basically what I want to do is I want to add this door frame, and I also want to make it so the door frame cuts a hole in my wall. So to start off, we're just going to append this to our model. So just do a file, append. And then when you bring this door frame down, you're going to double click on this. And then we're just going to go into the object settings, and you're going to select the option for cube 0.1 or cube 0.010. That's going to bring in the geometry of our door frame. Then I'm just going to rotate this by doing an R, Z, typing in 90. And we're just going to align this with our wall. So I'm just going to move this real quick this way. And we'll move it this way. And we can scale it a little bit too, so I'm just going to scale it on the x-axis just a bit. Just like this. And so what we have is we now have a door frame in our wall. But the problem is the door frame is in our wall and we don't have an opening. Well, the way that we can do this is we can create a Boolean that sits inside of the door object that will actually move around wherever our door moves. And so the way that we're going to do that is we're going to add a cube, and we're going to align the cube with our door, and we're going to make it so that it intersects with our wall. So the easiest way to do this is we're just going to do a Shift A, and we're going to add a cube. And then we're going to go to the front view. We're going to align this cube with our door. So most of the time I hold Z and move into wireframe mode to do this, just so that I can see a little bit better what's going on. And we're just going to start aligning vertices. So one thing that I like to do when I do this is I like to turn snap on by clicking on this button right here, and then setting vertex snap. So what that allows me to do is when I go into edit mode, it'll actually make the vertices snap to items in our model. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the tab key to go into edit mode. Then I'm just going to tap the 1 key in order to go to vertex edit mode. And what we're going to do is we're going to start aligning edges. So I'm just going to tap G, and I'm going to align this with this side. Notice how these are snapping and aligning with these objects because we turn snap mode on. And set it to the size of your door and make sure that it overlaps the wall on the outside. Adding openings to walls in Blender can be a little bit frustrating if you try to do it manually, because you have to add a whole bunch of extra geometry and make changes to your mesh. Luckily, there's an easier way to do this with Booleans. So, first step, you would add a cube and set it to the size of your door and make sure that it overlaps the wall on the outside and the inside. Next, you would add a Boolean modifier to your wall and set it so that it's referencing the cube that you just created. Third, you would want to take that cube and set its viewport visibility so that it's a wireframe instead of texture. Now, you have an opening in your wall and you can add your door. After you've added your door, you want to parent the empty to the door so that it moves with the door. I will link to a full tutorial on this method in the comments below this video. Adding openings to walls in Blender can be a little bit frustrating if you try to do it manually because you can see how I can... What's up, guys? Justin here with the CGEssentials.com, back with another Blender architectural modeling tutorial for you. So this one's going to be really important because it's going to give you some basics on how to create openings inside of walls, so that you can basically create door openings, window openings, things like that. So we're going to talk through a couple different ways to do this, some of which use add-ons and some of which don't. But let's go ahead and just jump into it. All right, so one of the things that can get a little bit tricky inside of Blender is when you're doing architectural models, a lot of the time you want to cut an opening for an object, so that you basically have a hole like a door or a window or something like that. And so let's start with a simple example. So I'm going to import a door frame that I downloaded from BlendSwap from Manim 8. I will link to this frame in the notes down below. Basically what I want to do is I want to add this door frame, and I also want to make it so the door frame cuts a hole in my wall. So to start off, we're just going to append this to our model. So just do a file, append. And then when you bring this door frame down, you're going to double click on this, and then we're just going to go into the object settings, and you're going to select the option for cube 0.1 or cube 0.010. That's going to bring in the geometry of our door frame. Then I'm just going to rotate this by doing an RZ, typing in 90. And we're just going to align this with our wall. So I'm just going to move this real quick this way. And we'll move it this way. And we can scale it a little bit too. So I'm just going to scale it on the x-axis just a bit. Just like this. And so what we have is we now have a door frame in our wall, but the problem is the door frame is in our wall and we don't have an opening. Well, the way that we can do this is we can create a Boolean that sits inside of the door object that will actually move around wherever our door moves. And so the way that we're going to do that is we're going to add a cube, and we're going to align the cube with our door, and we're going to make it so that it intersects with our wall. So the easiest way to do this is we're just going to do a Shift A, and we're going to add a cube. And then we're going to go to the front view. We're going to align this cube with our door. So
okay. So I have to add a cube instead of every single door. Okay, cool. All right. So I've got the front view, or maybe here. But first off, we need to add a cube. Okay, cube. Then that I would hide the plane for now. Hide this as well for now. Then we'll go in here and move this down. Then resize it a little bit. So scale that like that a little bit. Right. Then I mean, it just has to align with the window, so it doesn't even have to align with everything. So scale it down a little bit more, like that. No, sorry, only on his z-axis, so like that. Right. So that's enough. And how do I make that curve rounded? So that's kind of like the question, right? So so I'll go into edit mode. Then I would honestly, I think it would be better to hide the store as well for now. So I will just go into edit mode. Then I will I'll click Control R to add some stuff in here, and I will just take one, I think, and then I will move it up so it aligns almost. You can see the grid there as well, which is good. Now we'll just go in here and we'll just click here. Then I will go into vertice mode, and now we could also add more. So we could maybe potentially, because you can see the grid right here, you could just copy this grid right here, I think. So what it has is you would have this 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. So these would be these ones. So if this one is this one, we would need one more in the middle, right? I would say. So I would say Control R. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so maybe we can just add this. So we have the outside ones, and I think maybe like that. I don't know. Maybe it makes sense to do it like that. I don't know. But like the problem is that we need one ring in the middle. But now it adds it on both ends. I don't want that, but fuck it. We can delete the edge right here. Don't need that. Edge. No. So let's just bring that to the front, I think I would say. First of all, let's just bring to the front a little bit. Ah, now I get it. Okay. Yeah, okay. I get it now. What happened? So it's a front face. Okay, I thought I added a plane. So we need that edge. But I just want to delete the edge, bro. Like, why is it deleting everything then? Okay, so this is also gone now. Why is it here? It's weird. I mean, at least it kept its transform, so maybe Control A and then all transforms. So now it should be good. I don't think it should change now again. I'll just bring this to the front a little bit, like that. And I would just also, I need to make these edges round, right? Like dash is everything I need to do. Need to make these edges round. So let me just add another face. So I have it finally. So we'll just select all these edges right here. So press this. Okay, cool. So click F. we have another face. Actually, that worked better than my previous method where I tried to delete one, because it's gonna, yeah, of course. Okay, so I can do the same right here. Delete that. Press Alt and F, and I create a new face without the edge in the middle, which is exactly what I want. Now, how do I add this rounded thing right here? How would I go about it now? How do I go about this? Isn't it probably a smart idea to just add a cube in here? I don't know. Maybe it is. So just delete that, and then, I don't know. So maybe delete this thing and then make it a triangle, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe delete this part. Oh man, I don't know, man. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so we need to delete both of these. So I will switch to X-ray mode, also Z and Z4 is X-ray mode, and this right here. Perfect. So we are in the front view in X-ray mode, which is perfect for editing this right now. Now I'm gonna delete, vertice mode. I'm gonna delete this one, holding down Shift, and I'm gonna press X, and then I'm gonna delete all of these vertices. Now, what happened is if I click Z and 6, we're in shading mode as well, and we can see all these faces are gone. Now we want the rounded thing. And how I'm going to do that, and maybe it's more complicated. Maybe you would be able to do it in a smarter way, but I'm just doing that way because why not? I want to do it that way. So in order to connect all of these, we need to hold down Shift, and first off we want to obviously connect these ones. Oh, that didn't work out that well. So what went wrong here? We first need to create another face before we add in edge. We need to connect the edges first with vertices, and then, as you can see, boom, already connected it with a new face. Now do the same thing with the other side. Now we can go into edge mode. Now we can create a new face, because yeah, that's just how it works, right? I would say. No. Maybe we need to do it independently. Let me see. Yeah, that works. So now deselect it with holding down Shift. And now, boom. We got all of our faces. Now we need to check on the bottom. Sorry, we need to click on the viewport overlays, this button right here next to this thing. And now we need to check for face orientation. You can see it's already disaligned with everything. Now I don't want to run into any issues, so I'm just gonna click on mesh inside of edit mode. Make sure you're in edit mode. I will click inside of this mesh, and now I will click on normals, which is down here, and I will click on, let me see. I will click on recalculate outside. Okay, recalculate outside. That makes, oh, that didn't work. I need to select everything and now do it again, so it actually does it, because if I don't select everything it won't work. Now click on normals and recalculate outside. Now you can see it just switched from red to blue. So blue is supposed to be the outside. Now you can see the whole mesh is aligned separately, and it's perfectly aligned. And you can see here we have issues as well, but it is the inside, so it actually matches. That's supposed to be the inside. Now you can see here as well, actually. It's quite interesting. Once we're in this mode, we can go around our scene, switch into edit modes, and select the whole mesh, clicking A, and yeah, clicking on mesh, normals, recalculate outside. Didn't work here, I don't know why. Yeah, doesn't matter. Let's see just how it turns out on the render. won't be that important because we're probably not going to be zooming in on it the whole way. It's going to be a fast animation. We need to have the rough shape of this thing, not perfectly. It doesn't have to be perfect, just the rough shape has to be there from this opera, because it's going to be, in the end, it's going to be like a very, very fast camera movement where we're going to like zoom in, and then boom. It's going to be very fast animation, so I'm not worried about anything, really. So let me just move the camera so that we are, yeah, so as you can see right here as well, I will just go out of the edit mode inside of object mode, clicking edit again, then clicking A again with the mesh selected, then click on mesh, normals, then recalculate outside. Let's see, did it change anything? Yeah, I mean, it is the inside, so it's kind of like, it is, right? So I just spotted it incorrect. So yeah, but now you can see we have our mesh aligned, and I would say let's continue. So I will go into object mode again, clicking this tab key, and I'm gonna continue rounding that, probably beveling it now because it's probably ready. So I will just go and select this one, clicking tab inside of edit mode. I will go to the front view again. I will zoom in, holding down command if you're on a MacBook, command, and just zooming in, then shift to move around a little bit, and then I will select all of these vertices right here, and I will deselect this, holding down shift and dragging across it. Oops, is it correct? Let me see. Yeah, it's fine. But we want to select through the mesh, so we want to hit the mesh through it. Now we can't do that, so let me just do it manually. So now I can see if we have that option selected, we select through the mesh, even though we can't see it on the other side. If we're in front view mode, for example. So what I can do now is Control B, I think. Now I can bevel it, right? Oh, that doesn't work as well as I expected it to. Okay, what can I do now? How can I make this rounded edge? Maybe add more bevels to it. So Control R, like that. Clicking middle click, loop cuts, Control R. Control R. No, this doesn't work as well. So, I mean, why can't I add like a fucking loop cut in here? Oh, I don't know. Oh, fuck this, bro, honestly. How do I add a fucking round edge to it? Okay. How do I fix this? How do I fix that? Okay, let me just turn off this normals face orientation shit. Okay, now we're back into normal again. Face orientation. Okay, face orientation is fine. I think it's better to add a cube, isn't it? Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna search up the tutorial. How can I round the edges of cube? Blender. Yeah.
Yo, sup? So you're in Blender, you want to make shit round, and you have no idea how, you know? You don't want your cube to look like a fucking perfectly sharp object, because that obviously isn't realistic. How on earth do you do that? Well, you tab into edit mode, you select your edge or whatever, you know? You can also select all the edges, and you take the bevel tool, which you can do by hitting Shift spacebar and then Command B. Shift spacebar opens this thing and then bevel, Command B, there we go. It's like, yeah, okay, so now you can bevel shit. How do you make it round? You scroll up. That's literally how I do it with the mouse wheel. Seriously, with bevel you can do like so much shit, right? Say we had this, so we beveled this and we beveled this another time, you know, and now we scrolled. That is a cool shape.
That's cool. Okay, so select the edges, right? So that's key. Now we just need to select this one. I think Control B. Then you just need to basically turn that into a bevel. So yeah, it works. It works. Yeah, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it works, I guess. We just need to like. I mean, yeah, that works. That works. That works well. So I will just make it all the way up here. Then what I want to do is I'll go into the front view mode again. Now actually, fuck this. We don't need that because we don't need these vertices. So I want to turn on the. I have to go. Yeah, I'm in edit mode. But let me just delete these vertices because I don't need them. So delete the edge. No, sorry. Delete vertices. Now. Yeah, I don't even need that one. So I just need to connect. We just need a triangle shape, right? So yeah, it's so much extra work, but it's like so fucking okay. All right, we will have it. Okay, just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. So connect all of these vertices with the face, all of these ones, then on the other side as well. I think it's like that's the thing. Like it's trial and error. Like I'm not gonna be afraid of failure. Like I know that the steps have been like a little bit inefficient. I just could have added a cube and just added like one extra vertice on top, you know, or whatever, or like do an extra. Like I could have just gotten in here, added a cube, scaled it up a little bit, then just I could have pressed like this. How is it called? This looping tool. Could have added in here, and then I could have moved this up, and then we would have had this shape. Like this would have been way smarter and faster, but you know it's just the way it works. So now we need to add some faces. How do we do that? We need to select all of these. Maybe click Alt. No, it doesn't work. Add in a face right here. Add. Do we have faces already? No, we just need one more face right here. And then we are finished. So F. Now I'll just go in here. Do we have everything the right way? Yep, everything has a face to it. Now that's perfect. Now, okay, let me just. Okay, cool. I'm satisfied with that, yeah. Now we just need to go in edit mode, click right here, Control B, and then you can scale this up and boom, all the way. Right? This is how we do it. And then we just have to, we just have to drag one up and maybe SZ like that. No, it doesn't work. Okay. So maybe take one in the middle and then move this up. No. Okay. Shit. So yeah, I'm kind of fucked right now. Okay, so we need to bevel this one, right? Like, that's as simple as it gets. Like, we need to bevel this one so that it stays right there, right? Like, but how do I do it? Control B. I don't know. How do I do it, man? Difficult. Maybe I should have added. Yeah, maybe I should have just kept it a cube. To be honest. Yeah, I think it would have been smarter to just keep it a cube. So I would just fucking delete this, honestly. So I'll just select this F, and then I will just click. Let me just click E, and then yeah, like that exactly. So now we should have got a line cube. I will just move it out a little bit more, so we roughly match with the original shape. And then I can add a control B, then bevel this bad boy, right, like that. But now we run into one issue, and that is we don't align with it, so I don't know what's happening right now. So what's the issue? There's no issue here. Like, why is it doing it that weird? Maybe I need to select the face. So do like that, Control B, like that. But it needs to stop right here. So clamp overlap, maybe. Yeah, now I got it. Perfect. Segments, no. 16 shape. Yeah. 5. Width. So let's go to front view. Also activate this one. I will do 8 segments, I think. That's enough. Set. Oh, got it. Okay. Oh, it looks good. Yeah, that's perfect, bro. Nice. Yep. Okay, so we gotta change the value to absolute, and now shade smooth, shade auto smooth. Okay, that works well. Now I will also move this down a little bit as well, slightly, and then resize it on the x-axis, y-axis. Just be like that, and then G, move it inside. Get it like that. Even more. Yep. Perfect. So we got the shape, and it took us a half hour to do. Perfect. Okay, let's go back to that one.
So most of the time I hold Z and move into wireframe mode to do this, just so that I can see a little bit better what's going on. And we're just gonna start aligning vertices. So one thing that I like to do when I do this is I like to turn snap on by clicking on this button right here, and then setting vertex snapping. So what that allows me to do is when I go into edit mode, it'll actually make the vertices snap to items in our model. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the tab key to go into edit mode, and then I'm just gonna tap the 1 key in order to go to vertex edit mode. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start aligning edges. So I'm just gonna tap G, and I'm gonna align this with this side. Notice how these are snapping and aligning with these objects because we turned snap mode on. So you can see how I can select these edges, and notice that I'm getting the front and the back edges because I'm in wireframe mode. And I'm just going to align these with my door. So just like this. So now my cube, if I go back into solid mode or material preview mode, is intersecting with my wall. And so what we want to do now is we want to tab back out of edit mode and click on our wall, and then we want to add a modifier. So we're going to click into modifiers, and under this drop down we're going to select the option for Boolean.
Okay. So I just need to click on the cube again. Oh, plane, sorry. So the plane has the modifier already. Now we just need to remove the old one and then select the cube. And now I think what we need to do is...
So when we select the option for Boolean,
Boolean.
It's not going to do anything initially because it's going to ask us what object we want to use for the Boolean operation. Well, in this situation, we want to click on this little button right here, and then we want to select our cube. And so what this is doing is this is now cutting a hole in our object. But part of the problem here is you can't see the hole because the cube is blocking it. And so I think there's a few different ways to do this. And so what I like to do is just turn this off inside of my scene so that you can't see this. One thing you do need to be aware of though is if you were to render this right now, this cube would show up. So I'm just going to click on this restriction toggle, and I'm going to make sure that we also have a restriction toggle available for disable in renders. And so what that means is I can turn this off so it's not going to be shown in the render. But the problem right now with this Boolean that we created is if I move this around, you can see how the opening isn't moving with this. And so the reason for that is because it's not linked in any way to our door frame. So what I want to do is I want to take this and I want to drag it into my cube object. And notice how right now it's not going to allow me to do this because it's not in a collection, but it gives me these options for control to link or shift to parent. Well, in this situation, I'm going to hold shift in order to parent this to the cube. So what that means is that now this Boolean that we created that doesn't show up in our view is now linked to our door frame. So now if I move my door around, the Boolean that we created is moving with that. So we've basically created it and made it invisible, but now it'll cut through any object that we place inside of our viewport.
Okay, cool. So parented. That makes sense. So let me just... Have I done it correct? Yes, so no, I haven't. Just have to Control P, parent, object, keep transform, right? Now I need to hide the cube, right? The cube is inside of the. Wait, no, that's wrong. Boolean. Where is it right now? I think it's in the classical. It should be in the classical window. Yeah, it's in here. Perfect. Now, if I move this. Now, if I move this. Oh, dang, bro. Bro, I'm a fucking genius. Look, guys, I just created this shit, dude. Wow, I'm fucking impressed by myself. Now, how would I go about? Because now, bro, what I can do as well is like add lights. That's actually what I wanted to do as well. Because, oh my god, this will be so sick, bro. Oh my god. Like I can, like what I wanted to do is, this is still in the vision video. Oh, I actually can see right now this is not aligned. So let me just realign these. What I wanted to do as well is, why do these fucking windows disappear all the time? Okay. Okay, I need to remind myself, like I need to place the object inside of the middle of the object. So I have shift space and press 1, no, slide loop cuts, global scale. Okay, how do I, what was the question again? I think the question was, how do I how do I place an object inside of the middle of another object, right? Method 1 snap to using center, Shift S, cursor to selected. Okay, cursor to selected. Perfect, man. Now we just have to move it down. Now, Shift S, and duplicate, Shift D. Now move it just right here, and then Shift S, selected the cursor, GZ, like that. We can align them afterwards. Then Shift S, cursor to selection to no, selected. Then Shift D, move it right here. Then Shift S. Sorry, no. I don't even think that we need to manually adjust them because it's gonna work out anyways. I think, you know, like I don't think it's gonna be. Oops.
Come and pick me up, no headlights. Long drive could end in burning flames or paradise. Fade into view. Love, it's been a while since I have even heard from you. I should just tell you to leave, 'cause I know exactly where it leads, but I watch it go down, you're on the sign.
Jana, Shiori und Kartik. Sie sind nur einige HändlerInnen aus verschiedenen Teilen der Welt, die zu Shopify.
Today, we level up procedural texturing in Blender with better edge maps in 4 steps. First, we'll look at the traditional alternatives to our method and potential drawbacks. Second, I'll introduce the bevel node approach to edge maps. Third, I'll break down the dot product vector math operation in Blender. It sounds scary, but it's not bad. I'll explain why we've chosen to use this technique. Finally, we'll wrangle in the values and build a useful node group that's reusable on any project. Our goal is simple. We want to expose the edge value of our geometry. We want this map to be procedural and to offer a full range of coverage for ultimate flexibility. If your first thought is to use a pointiness value, you're not alone. The pointiness value can be found within the geometry texture node. When fed through a map range node, it can be a crude method of identifying creases and valleys within your mesh.
Since Painter, 3D Code, and Mari.
Follow along.
Now, the colors. Next, let's create several more smart masks, which we can use for our textures. Since most of these only work in cycles, make sure you're using